Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. I wanted to continue on my legend series today, and I'm super happy and excited to give you today's legend, a really special legend, I should say, and someone who revolutionized cricket not with the bat or the ball, but with his fielding. He is a man who defied gravity, a cricketer, a fielder who definitely defied gravity and who shot to fame in that 1992 World Cup, Winston NHS World Cup in Australia, when he ran out Inzamam Haq at a crucial stage that won the match against Pakistan. And someone who once I saw a banner in the crowd which said uh, two third two thirds of the earth is covered by water and the rest by him, Jonty. I'm talking about the sensational, the magnificent Jonty Rhodes of South Africa. He was born 27th July 1969 in Pietermaritzburg, the Natal province of South Africa. And he was just an absolute sensation who revolutionized cricket. And he drew crowds, spectators to the game of cricket just to watch fielding. I mean, in the mid 90s, I've seen many people who watched South African matches just to watch him field, and even myself. And he was a great friend of Hansi Crony as well. And I remember in Alan Donald's autobiography, White Lightning, yeah, there was a picture of him, and he said brilliant and said he has been excellent for my career. He was also an amazing hockey player who was selected to the South African team to represent in the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, but South Africa didn't qualify for the championships. And he was again selected for the trials in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, but he had to withdraw because of a hamstring injury. In all, he played 52 test matches for South Africa and he scored over 2,500 runs, about 35 average for a fielder like him. And he scored 300s, and the first 100 was such an important 100 against Sri Lanka in 93-94, where he batted out the last day 101 not out. And with Clive Eckstein, he salvaged a draw for South Africa. And South Africa won the second test of the series where Brushrules was excellent, the left arm bowler. And South Africa drew the last test was also a draw, and South Africa won that away test series against Sri Lanka 1-0. So his first test 100, that 101 not out, was such a crucial test innings. And in one day cricket, where he was just out of this world, he played 245 one day matches and he scored very close to 6,000 runs, again at an average of more than 35, which was excellent for the runs he saved on the field. And he also scored 200s, and he has scored 33 50s as well. I've never mentioned about the 50s in my Legend series, but when Jonty Rose scored a 50, it was almost like 80, 90, 80 runs because he always used to save around 30 runs on the field. And he used to get a lot of man of the match awards when there was no special performance in the match. And if he scored around 30, 35 runs, he would be the man of the match because of the runs he saved. And he did score 300s in Test cricket as well. And he was just sensational. I mean, that match against Pakistan in Zamam Runout, it was there was rain and it was a revised target. South Africa scored, I think, 211, and Pakistan needed only 194 to win. And they were sitting pretty at 135 for two, and Inzama Haq was batting on 48, and it looked like South Africa were going to lose and Pakistan were going to win. And Inzamam flicked a ball and it took the leading edge and it went to backward point. And Jonty Rhodes took the ball and he didn't have enough time to give it to the wicket keeper. And if he threw the ball, it was a risk. And if he missed, I mean, it was quick thinking. I mean, he just ran with the ball and he dived with the ball, and he took the stumps off. I mean, anyone who has watched cricket in the early 90s will remember that. Or definitely, it is something that if you have missed, you have to watch on YouTube. Please go and check 1992 Jonty Rhodes fielding against Inzamam or Pagi. I mean, it will show up. I mean, that is a day where he really defied gravity, full bone length dive to the stumps, and that, I mean, that was the right decision he made because he couldn't throw it to the wicket keeper, and if he missed, And that totally changed the match, and that it was just amazing turnaround, and South Africa won that match against Pakistan. And another thing, I mean, Jonty Rhodes was the best runner between the wickets I've ever seen. He was so fast. I mean, normally people who will take a single, he would take 2 runs, or if it was two, he would take 3 runs. And the way he used to turn at the crease was just amazing. I always used to watch that. He would just people would normally slide in the bat, but he used to make, like, I don't know how he used to do that. He used to just show his bat and turn it. So I mean, I've never seen anyone, not even close, who used to turn at the crease as fast as Jonty Rhodes, and he could really run you out of the match. I mean, he would just come in and he would just score 30, 40 runs in no time with singles and twos. And he was an amazing player of spin bowling. Obviously, being a very good hockey player, he was very good of the sweep shot and the reverse sweeps. And it was always excellent to see him play against spin. And he is the first batsman that I've seen hit a six of a reverse sweep shot, and that was against Carl Hooper in '98 in a one-day match. He reverse swept Carl Hooper for a six. I've never seen that happen in cricket before. I mean, these days you do see in the T20s, but that was the first time I ever saw that. And I have, by the way, met Jonty Rhodes' uncle once when I traveled from Knaresborough to Pretoria. He was sitting next to me on the bus for hockey reasons, and we had a chat for around 2, 3 hours, 3 hours, and it was excellent. And by the way, Jonty Rhodes' daughter's name is India, which shows his love for India. I mean, he is adored in India, and he loves India. I mean, he is the fielding coach of the, I think, the Lucknow Super Giants now, and he has been a fielding coach for Mumbai as well. And another important innings that Jonty Rhodes played was in that 93-94 famous Sydney Test, where South Africa won by 5 runs, where Fanie de Villiers took 10 wickets. Australia only had a target of 117, and Australia were bowled out for 111 runs on a turning wicket. I mean, but South Africa, obviously, Seamers took the wicket. But in the second innings, when South Africa batted, Jonty Rhodes scored 76 not out on a really turning wicket where Shane Warne had taken 5 wickets in the second innings. That was such a crucial match winning innings, and South Africa only had 116, 17 was the target, and South Africa bowled out Australia for 111. The last day, I still remember, Australia needed only 54 runs to win with 6 wickets in hand, and South Africa won by 5 wickets. And Jonty Rhodes' 76 not out was such a match winning knock. And there was also one incident about Devon Malcolm hitting him on the head, and Fanie de Villiers hitting him back on the head, and Devon Malcolm taking 9 for 51, I think, in the second innings. That was a famous test as well, where Jonty Rhodes was involved. And he was epileptic, by the way. He did have epilepsy. And Jonty Rhodes was just an amazing. I mean, he just had so much energy, enthusiasm about him, and he was the heartbeat of the South African team. I remember Steve-O once saying, like, there was in the Sports Star, Steve-O was talking about all the South African players, and when he came to Jonty Rhodes, he said he is the heartbeat of the South African team. I mean, you would always see him excellent. And fielding wise, I mean, he was just excellent fielder. 1 second, I mean, the catching was just amazing, and also the throwing. I mean, he was so accurate. I mean, Ricky Ponting was probably the only one who was a bit more accurate than him at times, but his fielding, catching, and throwing was excellent. And he also has another world record, by the way, at the Hero Cup. People would remember 93, 1993, the Hero Cup. In those times, the Brabourne Stadium was used in Mumbai, not just the Wankhede Stadium. He took 5 catches against West Indies, which is a world record. The only time catches have been taken by a non-wicket keeper, and that record belongs to Jonty Rhodes when he took 5 catches against West Indies. People would remember the Hero Cup fondly. So Jonty Rhodes was just excellent, and I've seen when Alan Donald, no one loved, enjoyed dropping a catch against Alan Donald, and he wasn't that happy when catches were dropped of him. I've seen a couple of times or so when Jonty Rhodes has dropped a catch of Alan Donald, and he would just smile at Jonty Rhodes because he has obviously saved hundreds or thousands of runs for Alan Donald and taken excellent catches. So he was just an amazing fielder and an amazing person, and everyone. I don't think there is anyone in world cricket who ever didn't like Jonty Rhodes. He was just amazing. His full name was Jonathan Neil Rhodes, by the way. and he was just excellent on the field. I mean, he drew crowds, and people watched cricket for his sake. A lot of people I remember. I mean, he was just sensational in the mid 90s. I've seen in the Titan Cup, in the World Cup '96 World Cup. I mean, there were lots of runouts that he used to. Create, and it was just amazing how many runs he scored. And when it was just very, very difficult, close to impossible to bat against South Africa in those times when Jonty Rhodes was at the backward point. That was his fielding position, and he was just excellent there. So anyway, that is my video on Jonty Rhodes, one of the greatest fielders, if not the greatest fielder in many aspects, and someone who was an amazing hockey player, and definitely one of the most loved cricketers of all time. I'm really happy to give you Jonty Rhodes. I'm sure everyone will enjoy this video. Take care. God bless you.